Hello guys, this is Zaxter99 once again. Today I'm going to be uh, showing off my favorite MMORPG of all time. I have played literally over 100 of these MMORPGs since 1998 when I first started Ultima Online, and by far my two favorite MMOs of all are my very first one, Ultima Online, and Asheron's Call. I would say Asheron's Call is probably my favorite. Ultima Lines is definitely number two, and number three is also an older MMO, which would be Dark Age of Camelot. Now, all three of these MMOs, in my opinion, uh, clearly reign supreme over everything produced since like World of Warcraft in 2004. Um, no MMO that I've played the last basically 10 years can top the early MMOs as far as the depth of gameplay, um, actually having to think to play, requiring a little bit of skill and thought process while you play. Um, these MMOs, the earlier MMOs, were a lot more engaging. For example, Ultima Online, when it first started out in Asheron's Call, if you play in the Darktide server where I started, other players can kill you, and there's a consequence to dying. You lose some loot. You could lose all your loot on Ultima Online. On Asheron's Call, you lose some of the most valuable items in your backpack, so you're required to always think ahead and carry death items so that you don't lose your most valuable pieces of gear. Now, I've just recently came back to Asheron's Call and started a whole new account. Um, I made one character, just a uh, like a combat type guy, just to kind of get back in the game and kind of see what it was like. But I'm gonna create a mage because mages definitely have a lot of power. Um, in Asheron's Call, mages are probably the most popular type of character there is, just because magic is so required in Asheron's Call to do anything. When I started, there was four schools of magic, which would be war magic, basically shooting uh, destructive spells at monsters. There was life magic, which can be used for buffs and debuffs of characters and enemies. Item magic, which is basically used to cast portal spells, recalls, and buff and debuff items and weapons. And then there was creature magic, which is also used to buff specific stats of a character um, and debuff stats of a character as well. So you got four major schools of magic in Asheron's Call. The depth of gameplay in Asheron's Call allows you to level up, not just levels, but completely control. I think it's like over 50 different skills in the game. So you can skill up exactly how you want, and just made every character a lot more unique than the basically class type MMOs they have today, where you have at level 20 you have half the half the game half the game's players is exactly the same character. I mean, exactly the same skills. Another good thing about Asheron's Call is, to date, out of all the MMOs, no game has yet beat the loot system found in Asheron's Call. The loot system is phenomenal. I mean, if you're a fan of like random loot, like Diablo style loot, just tons of loot being thrown at you, and trying to pick out those rare gems out of tons of loot, and being able to upgrade that loot with skills again, then Asheron's Call is for you. And Asheron's Call, I mean, there's a reason it's still going strong after 13, almost 14 years now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a character, and I'm going to go on the Darktide server, as you see up here. It's the only PvP server that's ever been in Asheron's Call, and to me, it offers more of a challenge. Now, when I used to play Asheron's Call back in like 2000 to 2003, you really only had three human races in this world to choose from: Illuvian, Garudium, and Cho. Since then, they've added all these other races to try to give players more options. A lot of what used to only be monsters that you would see in the world, you can now play as a character. I haven't played a whole lot of these. Um, I probably won't right now as well. I can't imagine being an Ulthoi, which is one of the game's real baddies. And you know, being a bug, I can't really imagine being that. And I'm probably going to go with, you know, because I'm kind of coming back to Asheron's Call for, you know, old time nostalgia's sake, and just kind of seeing how it's changed and that kind of thing. So I think I'm definitely going to go with a mage here, and I'm going to go with Gerudium just because they have a racial uh, bonus for magic spells. So pretty much the race you want to go with if you're doing magic. Actually, all three of them would work fine, but and you know you can choose some starter specialties, for example, Life Caster, but I'm not going to go with an already pre-made skill set, mainly because like you'll see that a life caster has life magic specialized, and the specialized skills up here are going to be skills that are going to advance a lot quicker, and you can actually pump your experience in this game into your skills to actually increase them as well. But I'm not going to want arcane lore as one of my specialties, so that's a waste of points in my opinion. I'm going to do my own mage stat. And because mages rely so much on focus and self, that's what these two are. All their skills are made up of, any magic skills are pretty much made up off of these two attributes. So I'm going to raise both of those, max both of those out for my available attribute credits of 100 or 270 when you start. I'm going to go ahead and put most of those into my focus and self. I'm going to want some strength as well to help me carry more stuff in the game. And then I'm definitely going to want endurance, a big stat, a big spell that you can cast in Asheron's Call, if I remember correctly, is a life magic spell that allows you to take away from your life or from your stamina and give it to your mana at needed times when you want to cast those spells. So I'm definitely going to be putting some points into endurance. It'll also give me more health as well. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go ahead and try a character about like that, 30, 30, 80, 100, 100, see how that works out. And here's where I'm going to go ahead and specialize my skills. Now, anything that's trained you can do and you can pump points into to raise. And you can see with this particular class, I have these already trained: magic defense, loyalty, jump, arcane lore, run, and salvaging. Which salvaging is a big feature of this game. It's really awesome. And we'll get into that more later, maybe in a later video if I get a good response from this video. But all these usable untrained skills are usable. You can do this stuff, but you're not going to be able to pump points into it, or it's not going to raise with use by using those particular skills. So if we come down here under unusable untrained skills, we'll probably find all our magic schools. And a lot has changed since I've last played this. For example, when I played, there was no void magic. I don't know a lot about that. So because it costs so many points to train, I'm kind of going to stay away from it. Some kind of nether spells. But until I learn more about it, I'll probably just stick with something I know. And I'm going to go with war magic is probably going to be my supreme skill because it's a nice combative skill. And I'm going to specialize that so that it raises up quicker with use, and also so it costs less experience points to raise this up. And I believe I'm also going to go ahead and train life magic. I'm also going to want good mana conversion. Mana conversion is a skill you can actually raise up so that your skills cost less mana to cast. And I need to make a decision at this point. I only have 6 available skill credits left. I could wait and get mana conversion later. I could pump this back down and start getting that later. Because you earn skill credits as you level up. But I think the only time you can specialize a skill is right here at the start. Unless they've changed things. So I could lower this back down and specialize life magic. I know a lot of people spec out life magic and war magic to start, but I think I'm going to be a little bit different here. I think I'm just going to train life magic to a trained skill, and I'm going to go ahead and specialize mana conversion and see how that works out for me later on. So we're going to go with that spec that's used all my available skill credits. Now, if I only had 2 or 4 credits left and didn't want to, waste them, I could save those particular skill credits for later on. Okay. So I am going to just look for, I like just using the random feature here to see what I look like and just get something that looks decent. Maybe change it around a little bit if it's close. Just something that I like. But that's fine. That's pretty bright here. Maybe change the eyes a little bit. All right, so we're just going to go with that. I'm not real particular on how you look. You won't see that a whole lot anyway. You'll be covered with armor. But it gives you starting locations where you can start. I'm pretty familiar with Holtberg, so I'm going to start there. A lot of players usually found around Holtberg as well. Now I'm playing Darktide here, and this is a PvP server just to make this a little more exciting. Might make the video a little more entertaining as well, watching it with the thought that I could be crushed at early level, first logging in by some level 200 and who knows what level character. That can always happen. There's really no safe zones in Asheron's Call. Even in town, you can be smashed by another player. So just try to think of a name here, which I'm not very good at. Geronimo. Probably already taken. Let's see here. Nope.